What's going on, guys? Welcome back to We Want Pigs. My name is Jacob, aka the Freckle Salamander. Thank you for joining me here today for a quick pick video for UFC Vegas 65. But before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new, and if you want all our early access, predictions, bets, all of it between me and Angelo, go to WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It is only $10. And if you've been following the premium bets the last few weeks, you are up millions and millions of dollars. We are up over 20, 30 units the past 2 weeks with our premium bets. Go to WeWantPicks.com, become a premium member. Check out the early access bets, the early access picks. And without further ado, let's get right into UFC Vegas 65 quick pick video. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Let's roll it. First fight, we have Natalia versus Tereza, and I told you guys before Natalia's first fight, it was so funny listening to the broadcast of that fight. DC and Dominic Cruz were like, there was no way we could have known that she was going to come out and look this good in the striking. I told you guys, listen to our breakdown of Natalia's last fight. I did my research on her Instagram and said that her striking was looking absolutely fantastic and crisp, and that's exactly what happened in that fight. She's going to need it in this fight. What she's going to need more than anything is that great takedown defense that she showed in her last fight as well. But I think that she can withstand the takedowns of Tereza, have the way better striking advantage as far as the footwork in and out with the speed, and she's much more experienced as well. Give me an Natalia in this. Conference level 1 to 10. I think she's a 6, 7, maybe even 8. Put her at a 7.1. Actually, put her at a 6.9. Let's move on to the next fight. Fernie and Brady. We have Fernie as basically a poor man's Adrian Yanez. He is a boxer through and through. Doesn't have the tenacity of an Adrian Yanez, but as far as skill level, you can kind of see he's working his way to being a slick boxer. So this is going to come down to Brady. Fernie is who he is. Can Brady come in, get the takedowns and the control that he needs in this fight? I think he's able to. My confidence level 1 to 10 is probably more of like a 4 or 5 on the Brady side, because Fernie is very slick with those hands, and on those entries could find a nice little slip and rip situation. Brady can get tired with his relentless wrestling, but I think he's able to control this fight a little bit more than he did the Pretty Ricky fight, get the fight to the ground, control the positions, control the fight, and Fernie just does not have that killer instinct that I'd like to see out of him. So give me Brady, confidence level about a 3 or 4. Let's move on. Maria versus Vanessa, and this is going to be a fun fight because both these girls are tough as hell. I'm going to take Maria on this side because I saw her fight versus Tabitha Ricci. She was able to defend takedowns, and even when she was taken down, she was able to scramble back to her feet. Vanessa, if she gets on top, is going to be a problem. Vanessa, even on the bottom, in her guard, has a very active guard. But as far as the striking, I think Maria is going to have the tenacity, the length, the striking advantage in this fight. Vanessa is tough. She is going to be there until the end. I just don't think that she's going to get the takedowns needed, and Maria is not going to engage in the wrestling on top. It's going to be a standing affair. Give me Maria. Confidence level, let's put it about a 4 out of 10. Pretty Ricky versus Kevin. Give me Pretty Ricky all day in this matchup. I didn't like his last fight, the way that he was throwing a lot of stuff, wasn't landing stuff. He was he is a very confident fighter, but let's see a little bit more action in this fight against a guy like Kevin who has been flatlined in his last 2 fights. This seems like it should be a decision fight the way Pretty Ricky's been fighting, but against a guy like Kevin and the stuff that Pretty Ricky likes to throw sometimes, even well-versed on the ground with his jiu-jitsu, maybe he tries to wrestle a little bit in this fight, even though Kevin does have pretty good takedown defense. I like Pretty Ricky, I think, inside the distance on this fight versus a chinny guy like Kevin. He really gets after it. I love him to be able to shine in this matchup. I think that's why they gave him this matchup. Give me Pretty Ricky, confidence level 1 to 10. I think he's about a 6, maybe even a 7 on this. Give him a 6.5. Let's move on to the next. Miles Johns and Vince Morales. This is probably one of the tougher matchups on this card. Miles Johns coming in, short notice, wrestler who doesn't really wrestle, and Vince Morales is one of those guys that's pretty well-rounded everywhere. I worry in this fight about Miles Johns. I know he's the favorite, but he's a guy that can fade in fights, especially if he's not getting the takedowns. He's throwing those big, wild shots. Short notice, he could gas even further. I think the safer play in this matchup, especially the value, is in Vince Morales. He's going to be my pick for this, but it is a complete toss-up. This is going to come down to whether Miles gets a couple takedowns, whether he fades. This is going to come down to Miles Johns in this matchup. I'm taking Vince. Confidence level 1 to 10 is about 3 or 4. Don't feel great about it. I'm thinking Vince can get the job done, the more well-rounded fighter. Let's move on to the next one. And for Maia versus Moroz, and this is the matchup of 2 conflicting styles. Actually, similar styles, I should say, because Moroz showed wrestling in her last couple fights. She wants to get fights to the ground. She should be the better striker, but I think I'm going to side with Jennifer in this matchup. Her experience, her toughness, should be able to withstand the wrestling, maybe have some offensive wrestling on her own. I just love her absolute toughness coming into this fight versus a girl like Moroz, who, yes, should be able to win the striking, but might fold under the pressure and toughness as Maia. And off her back, I think Maia should be able to control positions if she's able to get top positions against Moroz. But if Moroz gets her down, gets her back, big issues for Maia. I don't love it. I'm picking Maia confidence level 1 to 10. Probably about a 3, but we'll see how it plays out. Let's move on. Zhalgas versus Charles Johnson, and I absolutely love Charles Johnson in this matchup. You saw his last fight versus Mikhaev. He had to bleed basically all defense in that fight because Mikhaev was relentless. And Zhalgas will also be relentless. But that's not Mikhaev. I mean, Zhalgas is not Mikhaev. He throws wild shots, which Charles Johnson, with his nice, beautiful striking, should be able to counter well. And the wrestling, he just can't get held against the fence, which Zhalgas loves to do. He doesn't mind if he doesn't get the takedown. He will press you and hold you against the fence. Charles Johnson can't play that game. He wasn't playing that game with Mikhaev, so I can't imagine him playing that game versus Zhalgas. This should be a perfect bounce back fight from my man Charles Johnson. I love him in this matchup. 1 to 10 confidence. I'm putting him a 7, maybe an 8. He's one of my more confident plays on this card. Let me know if you agree. Let's move on to the next one. Jack Della versus Danny Roberts, and this is my most confident play on this card. Jack Della is an absolute problem. He is an absolute he is a problem for this division. Jack Della with his striking, improving his grappling. You saw the non-panic last time he got caught in the anaconda, got out of it, found the knockout shot, even with a body shot. He works everywhere, very well-rounded. And Danny Roberts is a guy, well-rounded, veteran. He might be there until the end, but Jack Della is that young dude, up-and-comer that is just next level. Could be, I'm not going to put him as a dude, but he could be a dude up-and-coming. I love him in this matchup. The odds reflect it for a reason. Confidence level 1 to 10. Give me an 8.7 for Jack Della against Danny Roberts. Cody versus Rodolfo, and I understand Rodolfo was the favorite. He should have the grappling advantage. He might even have the striking advantage. Something weird tells me that Cody's going to come in as a much more live fighter. When Cody fights, that dude does some wild shit. He's relentless in the wrestling, relentless in the grappling. Even in the striking, he does some wild shit. And Rodolfo has shown, and he has said and mentioned time and time again, he doesn't even like fighting. He does not like fighting. He's scared to fight. Yes, he's tough. Yes, he's good. But I'm going to take the live. I think Cody's much more live in this matchup. It's a little bit of a flyer. Cody is not the better fighter in this matchup, but it feels like his tenacity and his aggression is going to find something that Rodolfo is not going to like, and Rodolfo might fold in those instances. So yes, the pick probably should be Rodolfo. I think Cody is a little bit more live than people think in this matchup. So give me Cody. The losses to William Knight and Maximov is not a good look at all. But I'm going to take Cody on a little bit of flyer. Confidence level is probably like a 2 out of 10, so don't get it twisted. But I'm taking Cody against Rodolfo in this matchup. Muslim versus Andre. Listen, I think both these guys are overrated. Andre Fialho thing has kind of run its course. The whole let me get hit and get hurt until I knock the other person out can only work for so long, and you saw that in his last fight. Muslim, I picked against him with Lee. He did get knocked out by Lee, just as I said. I think both these guys are pretty overrated. The striking is probably kind of a wash, except Andre gets hit and then starts hitting, which is not good against a guy like Muslim. But Muslim wrestling in his back pocket should be the difference in this fight. Listen, if Muslim goes out there and gets knocked out, I'm not going to be surprised. If Andre goes out there and gets knocked out, I'm not going to be surprised. My pick for this fight is Muslim. Confidence level 1 to 10. Probably about a 3 or 4. I'm not loving it because Fialho has shown that he can take a shot to give a shot, but that can only last for so long. Give me Muslim, but I don't love it. Chase Sherman versus Waldo. When I said after Waldo's fight, he is a fade 100%. That fight against Vanessa, I mean, his leg was absolutely, that was only a few weeks ago, and his leg was absolutely chewed up. That guy thought and acted like he was absolutely dominating that fight. He was salsa dancing in the 3rd round. Like, what? This is a close fight. You're almost losing your leg. You're about to lose this fight from leg kicks, and you got there salsa dancing. With that said, I can't fade him versus Chase Sherman. Yeah, I love Chase Sherman. I'll be rooting for Chase Sherman. He is a good boxer, but I just think that Waldo will have the power advantage. Hopefully Chase on his side, or hopefully Chase on his side, if you're betting his side, he comes out and starts working that leg immediately, because there's no way after 3 weeks that leg is healed fully. But I got to take Waldo with the power advantage. I'm going to be rooting against him. For my money, ain't no way I'm putting money on Waldo. I might sprinkle some money on Chase, look for some value inside the distance, something weird, maybe at points or something like that. But my pick is Waldo. 1 to 10, I'm going to put it about a 3, maybe a 4, because he probably should win. But I just cannot put, and I'm not putting my money on it. So my pick is Waldo. Let's move on. Jan Cutelaba versus Kennedy, and this should be a straight-up Kennedy play, 100% all the way. Jan has shown he cannot take a punch at all. And even when he's winning wrestling and grappling exchanges, he still got choked out by Ryan Spann. The guy is an all-time talent that for whatever reason cannot put it together and will never put it together unless he finds a chin somehow. And Kennedy is not a guy you want to try to find your chin against, because he has shown that he is willing to wait, find that shot, and it really, against Jan, it's only going to take one shot. He should be able to withstand the grappling of Jan. Jan's going to come in, throw some big shots. Maybe this is the weird fight where Jan finds that shot that he's always looking to find, but this should be a Kennedy play all the way. Confidence level 1 to 10. I'll put him about a 6, maybe a 6.5, because Jan is live with the power. I mean, these are 205-pound men. Anything can happen, but Kennedy should have all the tools to withstand the Jan nonsense and put him away like everyone else does. Main event time, Lewis versus Spivak, and this is a Spivak play. I mean, I understand. Lewis is going to be live all the times. I don't think his heart's in it anymore. I don't think he trains as hard as he used to be. This could be, these are wild accusations, but the guy was working for a title, was competing for the interim title. He knows he's not going to get there again. He would have to win 3-4 fights in a row to get back there again. He was 37, 38 years old. I think he's just kind of mailing it in at this point. He's always going to be there, sitting back with that right hand. He's going to be live, but I don't think people fear Derek Lewis as much as they did. And with the age, he's just going to keep slowing down. And he's shown that once you match his intensity, once you match his pressure and he gets hit, he will fold. He's not tied to Ivasa. Tied to Ivasa, gets hit, he bites down, he swings back. Derek Lewis will do a little bit of that, but then he just kind of starts to fold. I think Spivac comes in, wrestles early, but even if he doesn't, he should know to stay safe. Everyone knows what Derek Lewis is waiting to do. I like Spivak all the way in this matchup. It's heavyweights, so Derek Lewis will always be live, but confidence level 1 to 10. Give me Spivak at a 7. This has been the Quick Pick video, UFC Vegas 65 from your boy Jacob, aka the Freckle Salamander. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Let me know in the comments below any picks that you agree or disagree with. Without that said, without that further ado, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm out.